Assalamualaikum guys, this is Ali Baqir Khan with another episode of Youth Alumni Association. Today we guys have Rubab, Aqsa and Noor with us. First of all, thank you so much for joining in the good cause, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Thank you so much for having us.
You're doing perfect on a Sunday.
All right. What about you, Rubab?
I'm doing good.
All right, that's really good to know. So we've got different mindsets, different ideas. Let me introduce Rubab, since you guys know her. She is a student of medical and she was pursuing her medical degree. Same goes for Noor. She's in her final year of MBBS and she's currently doing her MBBS from High Tech Texila. This is what she told me. And as far as Aqsa is concerned, she graduated from LUMS in accounting and finance. This is what I read there, but correct me if I'm wrong, but because I just went through your profile in a jiffy. But apart from that, what I know about her is that she's working as a team lead. Is that correct? For forecasting. And apart from that, she also has been a youth mentor for This Is Us, which is a very good thing. And we would love to know more about her career journey as well. So starting off with Noor, can you elaborate a little bit about your career journey, your high school journey a little bit? And, are you becoming a doctor because of some parental pressure or is it your own decision entirely?
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be a long story. क्योंकि अभी तो मैं फाइनल ईयर एमबीबीएस में हूँ और मेरी स्कूलिंग सारी इज फ्रॉम एलजीएस फैसलाबाद से स्कूलिंग भी थी, लेवल्स भी मैंने एलजीएस फैसलाबाद से किए थे. पर जब भी मुझसे कभी ये क्वेश्चन कोई करता है कि हाँ ये आपका अपना डिसीजन था या ये पेरेंट्स का था, तो यहाँ आके मैंने सोचा है कि हाँ ये क्या था ना. पहले तो मुझे ये लगता था कि हाँ ये मेरा अपने डिसीजन है, मैं आ रही हूँ. आई वाज रियली विलिंग कि मैंने आना है. और अगर एमकेट में नहीं हो रहा एडमिशन या मुश्किल जब मुझे फेस करनी पड़ी, मुझे लगा था बस ये जिंदगी का खत्म होने वाला है, ये क्या हो रहा है, क्योंकि करना तो यही है. लेकिन वंस आई गॉट इनटू एमबीबीएस, मैं यहाँ आ गई हूँ. मैंने लोगों की स्टोरी सुनी कि हाँ किस पॉइंट पे उनको ये रियलाइज हुआ कि उन्होंने ये प्रोफेशन चूज करना है. तब मैंने सोचा कि मेरे पास तो कोई ऐसा आंसर नहीं है. मैंने कब ये रियलाइज किया कि मैंने बनना था डॉक्टर, तब मुझे पता चला कि हाँ मेरे तो बचपन से ही ना वो दिमाग में जैसे पेरेंट्स डाल देते हैं बच्चे के कि बड़े होकर डॉक्टर बनना है, वो वाला सीन था. कि हाँ मुझे ये याद है कि जब बचपन में मुझसे कोई पूछता था कि हाँ बड़े होकर क्या बनूंगी, तो मेरा ख्याल से मैंने कभी खुद से आंसर नहीं किया. मेरे आंसर करने से पहले ही मेरे पेरेंट्स
कि नहीं डॉक्टर बनेंगी.
हाँ ये डॉक्टर बनेगी.
आपका एक माइंडसेट शुरू से ही क्रिएट हो गया कि जी डॉक्टर ही बनना है.
शुरू से ही बन गया था जी. तो फिर उसके बाद तो दे वेरी स्मूथली एंड वेरी क्लेवरली मेड मी बिलीव कि हाँ इसने डॉक्टर ही बनना.
बड़े चालाक थे आपके पेरेंट्स. करके उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, चक्कर ही कोई नहीं है. अच्छा चलें, दैट्स नाइस.
मुझे याद है कि वहाँ उसके एमकेट के दौर में तो मुझे था कि भाई मैं तो और कुछ कर ही नहीं सकती, क्योंकि देयर वाज नो प्लान बी. मुझे था कि भाई यही करना है.
So do you think there should have been some plan as well? मतलब personally after now you're in, so what do you think it should have been there? Because अब तो खैर आप आ गई है ना final year of MBBS में, but did you explore your inner potential? मतलब अभी भी आपको लगता है कि
मुझे रियलाइज होता है.
जी क्या रियलाइज होता है? मतलब what would, I mean if not doctor, what was the second option? आप क्या होती हैं अगर ना होती डॉक्टर? तो
अब आके मुझे रियलाइज हुआ है कि आई हैव दिस क्रिएटिव साइड जो छुप नहीं पा रही. मैं जितना मर्जी अब डॉक्टर बनना, एमबीबीएस की डिग्री परस्यू करना बहुत मुश्किल काम है. सारा दिन पढ़ रही हूँ, सब कुछ कर रही हूँ, पर एक क्रिएटिव साइड ना वो कहीं ना कहीं नजर आ रही है. कभी आई एम इनटू फैशन डिजाइनिंग, कभी मैं ज्वेलरी मेकिंग में जा रही हूँ, कभी तो ये मैं साइड हॉबीज करती रहती हूँ. और जब मैं एज अ साइड हॉबीज कर रही हूँ तो मुझे बहुत एप्रिसिएशन भी मिल रही है कि हाँ हर कोई आके मुझसे पूछ रहा है, फैशन के लिए भी पूछ रहा है मुझसे. ज्वेलरी मैं बना रही हूँ तो वो भी कह रहे हैं ओ माय गॉड ये तो बहुत अच्छी बना रही हो, बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर लो. लेकिन अब आके तब तो मुझे कुछ पता ही नहीं था, क्योंकि मैंने एक्सप्लोर किया ही नहीं था. और तब अगर मैंने बचपन से एक्सप्लोर किया होता और मुझे इनकरेज किया जाता तो शायद ये ऑप्शंस होती मेरे पास कि क्रिएटिव साइड की कुछ.
Noor, thank you so much for your introduction. Coming towards Aqsa. Aqsa, correct me if I'm wrong again. मैंने आपका वो graduation and explain about your career journey a little bit. And I mean about your career journey since your childhood. आपके parental background कैसा था? What did they want you to become? या फिर you explored yourself? we're we're really curious. We want to hear more about your career journey as well.
Interestingly, my parents did not want me to be a doctor, but I've always wanted to explore a lot of things. I've always felt scared of being stuck in one particular field during my high school. So I chose a subject combination which would allow me to switch anytime. Maybe that is
Mhm.
because I have few commitment issues that might be possible, but I actually gave MCAT even though my parents were not on board, and then I realized that maybe that was medical is not something that I really want to do. I've always loved maths and
Mhm.
reading also. So yeah, I wanted to do something. I've always wanted to do something with numbers, but when I went to university, I realized calculus was not my cup of tea. So finance was the closest field to it. So I chose accounting and finance. And when I graduated in 2021, I worked for a corporate bank for 6 months.
I see.
But yeah, so but I felt that banks, in not just in Pakistan, I think overall in the world, they're very bureaucratic organizations that are very slow and resistant to change.
Yeah.
And that was right out of college. That was something that I thought was a limiting factor for me. So then I switched to an e-commerce business, and there I'm working in supply chain and forecasting the
So
inventory.
are you enjoying what you were doing particularly because this is something you actually wanted for yourself? That's my
Yeah,
question.
yeah, this is something that I really like because now I get to work with some data, not something very advanced, but
Mhm.
this is something that I see myself working in the longer term, and I'm interested in it. So I think even though I've graduated, I've had, because of my interest, I'm ready to explore this field more in detail.
Okay, one thing that I want to ask, I'll come to this question later, but in brief introduction, I was going through your LinkedIn profile and there was something, you were a youth mentor as well for This Is Us.
Yeah.
And the name is really catchy, like This Is Awesome, a different perspective altogether. So what was that regarding and what were you doing as a youth mentor, basically?
Okay, so there's basically this consultancy firm, Ascend, and they have this project, Julian project.
Okay.
So what they do is they take a cohort of little South Asian girls who are still in high school, and then they have university students or just like women who started off their career. So they're like young women who are mentoring these girls from high school. They might be in AO levels or like doing the FSC. So so these girls, when they so like during this tenure of 6 weeks, when these young girls talk to us, and they basically write about their interests first, and the mentors
Wow.
write about their interests. So you can match them according to the interest. And so like I was
Then let
mentoring
them
two
know that,
girls.
okay, this is what, your path is, and that's what
Yeah,
you're
so
talking
they can
about.
just talk with us.
So
There's
kind
certain
of career
activities that we
counseling
do.
and your, counseling sessions that you guys provide them with, in a very different way. I mean, you guys get them to explore what their inner potential is, right? So, but why
Yeah.
just for 2 months? Was that just like a kind of internship, or I mean, what happened exactly? I
So yeah,
is
so this program is basically this is designed so so the girls can do it over summer vacations, right? So
And
it
why
is
not
recurring.
boys? Why not boys? Why is it
Uh,
just a taboo for
yeah, it's just like
girls?
I mean, it's just like targeted towards South Asian girls because we feel that they're already like women have limited access to education and these opportunities. So I think if you're targeting girls, then it doesn't not that the boys can't reach out, but I just think that it's targeted towards women because they have
I
limited
understand
access.
that. No, but it was a very good initiative, I think. I mean, exactly. I mean, if you're trying to get interests out of, their inner potential, that, okay, this is what they're interested in. I think this could lead towards building entrepreneurs as well. And we are going to come towards that point,
Yeah,
in the
and also
later.
because like right before they start college, and they have to choose their subjects and they have to choose their university. So that I think that is a very pivotal point where you need this
And you
information and
feel
you need.
happy about it as well. I think you must have felt really happy while you were working for them. There were girls out there, you were teaching them, and then they were coming up to you, okay, with something in the end that, okay, I got what I actually wanted out of it. So was
Yeah,
there
definitely.
something?
I mean, yeah, definitely. There's this thing that be the person that now that you wanted to look up to when you were young, and when you see less when we were growing up, maybe we didn't see I mean, I wasn't interacting with women leaders and, you know, people, just women enjoying their lives and, you know, doing their own thing and going out in
So
the
you
world
had a
and, you know,
different
exploring
perspective
different
of women, and
disciplines.
then you got to know
Yeah.
about that. So that's
Yeah. So
that's a very different thing that I've seen. So I wanted to mention that particularly to youth out there, that if you can do it, I mean, there are a lot of people out there who can actually go and, you know, search for these kind of opportunities. Coming towards Rubab. Rubab, how are you again?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah.
All right, that's very good to know. Good to see you smiling as well. So one thing that we missed in our last session was regarding your medical writing. I mean, you've written that you've been a blogger, and, you know, you specifically write for medical. So what is it that you write about when it comes to medical sciences?
Basically, I started from a research project. No? It was a data that was given to me, and I had to compile it in a very sophisticated form and had to give it a presentable copy of that. It's all started from that time, and with
Okay.
time it progressed on. But as I mentioned last time, it was a limited opportunity because of my prof and time that it demanded. So basically, it was restricted to that. Then, before my fourth professional examinations, I again got an opportunity, and that was like writing medical blogs related
Mhm.
to heart diseases, GI problems, cancer researches. So that was the my targeted area of it at that time.
I see. I see. All right. So that's really good to know. I'll ask a question from Noor, and Noor, coming towards the second part of the session. I mean, it's good to see you that finally you know, are in that field where you are pursuing not exactly your dream, but still something at least. And being a doctor is not bad. No one, I mean, you get a lot of respect in this profession. So my question towards you is, building entrepreneurs is something that we are lacking in Pakistan, and we are lacking it like anything, because we don't have that ideal mindset where we guys want to pursue our own dreams. That's one aspect. And because I used to work for Berry University Islamabad back in 2013 for Center for Entrepreneurship and Leadership, and I had a vision at that time that, okay, you know, I would definitely do something for this youth. And I've started off, and slowly and gradually we guys are coming towards that point. So according to your experience that you've had in this medical industry, what do you think is something different that you can do yourself for the youth? And if you can do it, you know, 10 other people can join you for that cause as well. Can you please elaborate on something like that, through which we would be able to build on new entrepreneurs and, you know, something different that we guys can do? I know that we have immense talent in Pakistan, but let's hear your perspective. Go ahead.
तो मेरे ख्याल से एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बनाने के लिए सिर्फ यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल पे आके आपको काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है. मेरे ख्याल से आपको स्कूल लेवल से ही स्टार्ट कर देना चाहिए, बेशक वो जूनियर स्कूल लेवल हो. क्योंकि अगर आप को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज करा रहे हैं, बच्चों को अपॉर्चुनिटीज दे रहे हैं ना, तो वो अपने एरियाज ऑफ इंटरेस्ट को जब एक्सप्लोर करेंगे, उनको पता चलेगा बचपन से ही कि हाँ कहाँ वो उनका इंटरेस्ट है. और उसके साथ साथ सिर्फ बच्चों की नहीं, पेरेंट्स की काउंसलिंग भी स्कूल में हो. कि पेरेंट्स को पेरेंट टीचर मीटिंग होती है हमारे यहाँ, वहाँ पे उसमें क्या होता है कि हाँ बच्चे के साइंस में मार्क्स अच्छे नहीं आए, हमारे मैथ्स में अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस नहीं है, ये इम्प्रूव करा दे वो इम्प्रूव कर दे, इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं होता. तो वहाँ पे पेरेंट्स की भी काउंसलिंग की जरूरत है कि ये आपका बच्चा इस चीज में बहुत इंटरेस्ट शो कर रहा है या यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छा दिखा रहा है, आप इसको इस चीज के लिए इनकरेज करें. तो ये दोनों काम शुरू से ही शुरू होंगे तो ऐसा ऐसा जाके फिर आगे वो होगा. वरना जब आपने बचपन से पेरेंट्स ने बना दिया होगा एक माइंडसेट, तो बहुत कम बच्चे होते हैं जो उस बैरियर को तोड़ के और नई चीज की तरफ.
तो आपका मतलब है कि हाई स्कूल से ही ये अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्रिएट होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज दैट्स वन पॉइंट वेयर इफ यूर इन ओ लेवल्स, आप अपने सब्जेक्ट्स डिसाइड करते हैं. अगर आप मैट्रिक में हैं तो आप डिसाइड करते हैं आपने बायो रखनी है या फिर आपने कंप्यूटर रखना है. और यू नो
मेरे ख्याल में तो हाई स्कूल से भी पहले जूनियर स्कूल से ही पेरेंट्स और बच्चों दोनों की काउंसलिंग होनी चाहिए.
पेरेंटल काउंसलिंग, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, इजंट इट रियली टफ इन पाकिस्तान? बहुत मुश्किल है वो, बिकॉज़ आई हैव बीन वर्किंग ऑन दैट.
पड़ेगा ना.
तो बताएं ना क्या सॉल्यूशन क्या होना चाहिए? व्हाट डू यू थिंक
सॉल्यूशन? आपको स्कूल्स में अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करनी पड़ेगी कि स्कूल्स में अगर इस चीज को, अगर टीचर्स में हम ये अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करें कि वो जब पेरेंट्स आ रहे हैं पेरेंट टीचर मीटिंग के लिए, तो उन्होंने उनसे क्या बात करनी है, ग्रेड्स के अलावा भी कोई और बात करनी है,
कोई आप एक्टिविटीज भी डिस्कस करें कि यार अगर आपने किसी को
जी
सिंगिंग करते देख लिया या कोई गिटार लेसन्स में अच्छा है, या कोई
जी
आर्ट्स में अच्छा है, तो आप उसके बारे में
अच्छा
बताएं कि
है,
आई थिंक ही और
बात
शी
करें।
शुड परस्यू दैट एज वेल, बिकॉज देखें
जी जी।
एक एवरेज लाइफ स्पैन आपका अगर 79 ईयर्स है ना, यू लिव 28,000 डेज ऑफ योर लाइफ, 28,000 में से 9,000 days you guys sleep, just letting you guys know and everyone out there. तो what remains is 79 years. अभी मैं आपको बड़ा एक अच्छा लाइफ स्पैन बता रहा हूँ जो कि आहिस्ता आहिस्ता कम होता जा रहा है in a country like Pakistan. तो खैर जी, उसके बाद what you're left with is what 19,000 days, that's it. So 19,000 days में भी अगर आपने सारी उम्र अपनी पेरेंटल ड्रीम को पुrsue किया या फिर आप एक फेयर
जी
फैक्टर थ्योरी में रहे, what did you do in life? Nothing at all, right? So
बिल्कुल
you
बिल्कुल।
guys should decide, and this is youth who has to take that decision. Noor, thank you so much for throwing some light upon this fact. Aksa, what do you think? Aapke nazar mein, what do you think about 9,000 days of peace at least?
90,000.
90,000 नहीं, 9,000 होगा, but हाँ मतलब अगर आप 28,400 days रह रहे हैं, उनमें से 9,000 days you guys sleep. But हाँ ये है कि peaceful तो होते हैं वो 9,000 days, because आप कभी यूरोप पहुंचे होते हैं अपने dreams में कभी कहीं, so that's a good thing. So Aksa, coming towards you, what do you think about this aspect जो कि मैंने नूर से question किया? Do you want me to ask this again, or do you know the
No, I wouldn't. I
context? Yeah.
think हमारे अंदर problem solving mindset की बहुत कमी है, and that has to do a lot with the curriculum that we taught in school. If you are focusing the child's energy to rote memorization or just learning about very archaic, outdated concepts, so they're never going to learn how to think out of the box. They're never going to think objectively. Or जब वो problem, अब entrepreneurs and they're trying to solve problems out there. If they don't have this approach while they're growing up, if it's not instilled in them, then when they grow up, they don't really see how to see those problems and then analyze them and then find a way to change them. They're just following that path that is being set out for them, and
Yeah.
then they're just following blindly. And it doesn't even have to be entrepreneurship. जब आप if when you're graduating out of college and you're going into a corporate job, there are tons of things that you can change and there are tons of problems that you can solve within the organization, but you
Yeah.
don't do that because you don't have that mindset. And I think it has a lot to do with what and how we are being taught.
So tell me two solutions that if you are a prime minister of Pakistan, let's for example, तो अक्सर ये करती जी, अगर मैं होती तो मैं तो इस तरह से minimize करती problems. So what would those be?
I think इस तरह के subjects जैसे logical and critical thinking school के curriculum का part बनाती ताकि they were able to that then they would be able to train themselves and train their thinking patterns. So when they grow up, they can challenge the status quo and then they can think out of the box. I
Okay.
think that was one thing. And since I'm very recently passionate about tech, and I think not just tech, but I just see a very big disconnect जो हमारी generation या हमारी communities में है, and आजकल everything is based on it. So I think I would put more focus on it. Again, something to do with curriculum, but I think introduce maybe coding to people.
Again, we don't even have one
Schools.
single unicorn company in Pakistan, so which is I mean
We were looking forward to Airlift being one, but unfortunately it closed
खैर
down.
वो तो बिल्कुल ही ऊपर से खैर anyways it happens, but it was a good startup, I would say. I mean, they at least tried to come up with some differentiation, और बड़ी अच्छी उन्होंने एक मार्केट सेट की थी एयरलिफ्ट वालों ने. So we should not criticize a company like that. मतलब हो जाता है, मतलब
Definitely. I mean,
it does happen.
they were on
But they
the
had a
right
vision
track.
of
Yeah.
creating it a unicorn company. So अच्छा,
But I
Aksa,
think,
I have another question for you, but since you graduated from a tier 1 university in Pakistan, जिसका almost सबको ही पता होता है. I've been in LUMS for different projects. आपका HR Confluence होता है, synergies, and a lot of those events. I've been the brand ambassador for those. So I really like the culture out there. Obviously I didn't study there. What do you think was the difference जो आपकी school life में था और university life में था? Would you want to recommend LUMS for this particular cause के यार वो भी इस तरह करते हैं कि मतलब do they try to actually build out confidence in you, or what's different than LUMS? How is it different than other universities in Pakistan, and especially when it comes to your core potential and your interest? Do they try to actually build that, या क्या है? अगर नहीं है तो क्यों, अगर कर रहे हैं तो किस तरह कर रहे हैं?
Definitely, I think जैसे उन्होंने बात की कि आप हाई स्कूल या वहाँ पे हम देखते हैं कि opportunity नहीं है to explore your different interests And I think LUMS is one of the few universities that give you the opportunity to, take electives up. मैं accounting and finance major कर रही हूँ, I have the option to take literature courses. I have the option to take political science courses, and I have the option कि मैं public policy courses लूँ. So जब मैं वो combination पढ़ रही हूँ, so when I am graduating, I have this background, I have this perspective कि मैं different fields की कोई combination लेकर एक different unique solution लेकर आऊँ. And we have a lot of different societies, and you're organizing them, you're raising funds for them, you're doing different marketing activities, you're trying to figure out the logistics of the event. So I think वो जो experience आपको मिल रहा है, so I think it's very relevant when you start your own business, and you are not expected to learn outdated concepts again, but आप जब case studies पढ़ रहे हो different companies की, and what they did good and what they did bad, and you were having discussion on them. So
it
I
builds
think
your
वो भी
mindset, and that's a good. But what about the professors जो आपके teachers होते हैं? Do they try to build that confidence in you? Do they give you proper career counseling before you're graduating? Because I've been to the job fair at LUMS, and it's really good. I mean, that was, I think, back in 2017 or 2015, I guess. But it was really good. I mean, the corporate level companies were there. They were actually interviewing people. I'm not sure if that's the same thing in LUMS right now. But what do you think? I mean, are you guys getting full value of money? Or, I mean, because obviously they're charging as well at the same time. But I mean, if you're not from the NOP National Outreach Program, right? So do you think you're getting exactly what you're paying them in terms of education? That's one thing. Second thing is in terms of building your confidence in a way that you can think about different perspectives in life. Because if I want to spend on two universities, let's, for example, a university that's a tier 2 university in UK, or going to LUMS, I think that will be almost the same budget, right? But if I'm choosing LUMS just for one specific reason, what would that be? Can you elaborate on that a little?
I think getting the worth out of your money is a very subjective term, but personally for me, I think, yeah, they're doing a really good job. They just don't have a career fair. They have a whole career service office where, they, even after you've graduated, they'll call you after 6 months that, are you settling well in your job, or are you
That's
looking for
great.
jobs? And they're
That's
going
actually
to
great.
help
Yeah.
you. So, I think it was one of the experience that I got a call from them after 6 months, and I was like, wow, it's like
I'm
being
Arabian. I never
I've
got a
still
call
been
from
part
my
of them.
university after I graduated. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and I mean, there are some professors that have been in the industry, so you can always contact them for mentorship. I think because of the current situation in Pakistan, a lot of professors are leaving, and they're settling abroad. So I think that is one
That is causing something.
Yeah, brain drain, and that is going to damage
the whole
institution as
education,
well.
the institution as well, which I would never want, because I still remember back in those days when I used to market events for LUMS in my university. I used to tell them, it's a very good university, and people used to listen to it. Why? Because LUMS was a brand, and it still is. And if people like, those professors would leave the country because of the economical situation that we guys are going through, I think that's really going to hurt the country in any manner, you could say. So coming towards Rubab now. Rubab, I asked you this question before as well, but do you have anything different to share today in regards to building entrepreneurs?
Not specifically much of the same thing, and the other points so Aqsa ne explain kar hi diye. I actually agree with her, because everything, it comes with a narrow tunnel vision in Pakistan. वही बात है कि हमें बहुत limited access दी जाती है, इतने career choices नहीं होती हैं हमारे पास, subject choices बहुत कम होती हैं, either it's arts or either it's sciences, or in Oral's case it's business for boys, or CSS. These are the very limited highlighted options that we have. In regard to what we have today, like we have a whole new era. जिसमें हमारे पास digital marketing, network building, socialization, and all these things. Personally, मुझे आधी degrees का नाम नहीं पता भी नहीं है अगर मैं देखूं, क्योंकि it's all very new to this, and this is like a generation gap एक आके हमारे में and the upcoming youth में. So I think कि अभी कुछ जगह पे steps लिए जा रहे हैं इस चीज को better करने के लिए, जिसकी जरूरत हमारे टाइम पे थी लेकिन नहीं थी, लेकिन वही बात आ जाती है कि बाकी अक्सर एक्सप्लेन कर दिए बहुत अच्छे से.
सही, आप अक्सर से एग्री करती हैं कि जी उनकी explanation is what you would take it. Okay, perfect. So coming towards Noor again. Okay, Noor, we do understand that you've spoken about the fact कि आपने बताया कि जी schools के level पे ये चीज होनी चाहिए. Now, I ask this question, and I ask this normally to every person out there. Aqsa se bhi pucha, Rubab se bhi pucha. Now, just imagine that you are the politician of Pakistan for like, a couple of years. So what would be the strategies? Dekhen, ek cheez that I would want to convey a message that's very straightforward. That would be, don't think about problems, always think about solutions. Because if you're gonna focus on the word problems, तो फिर आप शायद वही एक माइंडसेट पे चलेंगे कि ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम है. जिस तरह अगर बच्चे का एडमिशन नहीं होता तो वो 3,000 किस्म के प्रॉब्लम्स ले आता है कि जी ये था, वो था, रीचेकिंग करवाएं. Always focus on solutions, because believe it or not, it's going to change your whole life. आप जब पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट की तरफ सोचते हैं तो you can believe in yourself. There is a lot of chaos going on, political chaos है. But what do you think, youths के perspective से, Noor, can you elaborate those two solutions that you would want to give? कि जी अगर मैं हूं तो ये मैं करूंगी और I think ये minimize करेगा problem. Go ahead.
पहली बात तो वही स्कूल्स और उसमें ज्यादा सब्जेक्ट्स इंट्रोड्यूस कराएं ताकि यूथ को पता चले कि हाँ और कौन सी फील्ड है जिसको वो एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं. दूसरा ये कि करियर काउंसलिंग कोई जब स्कूल्स में अगर नहीं हो रही है, कुछ हो रही है, तो प्रॉपर कोई सेंटर्स बना दें, तो फोरम जैसे प्रोवाइड करते हैं जहाँ वो स्कूल और कॉलेजेस के बाहर भी जाके वो उसको उनको अप्रोच कर सकें और कांटेक्ट कर सकें. और तीसरा ये कि जैसे अक्सा ने बात की थी, अक्सा ने काम किया किसी ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ जहाँ वो वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप को इंकरेज करते हैं. हाँ, उसके लिए तो वो मेरा ख्याल से इस तरह के अगर काम हो भी रहे हैं तो बहुत कम लोगों को उसके अवेयरनेस और बहुत कम लोगों को पता है उसके बारे में. तो इस तरह की जो चीजें हो रही हैं उनको ज्यादा एक्सेसिबल बनाना चाहिए ताकि ज्यादा लोगों को उसके बारे में पता चले कि हाँ यहाँ पे ये काम हो रहा है और हम यहाँ पे जाके हेल्प ले सकते हैं. तो इसकी
I agree with this part politically. अच्छा पता है क्या, हमारे लोगों को असल में ना वो एक पावर अगर आ जाए ना तो लोग कहते हैं हम ये कर देंगे, हम वो कर देंगे. That's why I asked specifically कि जी प्राइम मिनिस्टर अगर आप बन जाएं तो क्या ख्याल है, because आप पता है एक chaos चल रहा है. That's the reason अक्सर आंसर टू योर चैट बॉक्स में जो आपने लिखा था. तो जी कंटिन्यू नूर बताएं.
बस मैंने ये कहना.
अच्छा बस ठीक है ना. नहीं सही है आपकी बात. आई एग्री विद दैट एंड बड़ा अच्छा आपने पर्सपेक्टिव दिया है कि जिस तरह मैंने भी ये बात की कि इफ शी कैन वर्क एज अ यूथ मेंटोर, यार डेजिग्नेशन ही देखें कितनी मतलब डिफरेंट सी है. तो आई वाज गोइंग थ्रू इट और अचानक से मैं वहां रुका और मैंने कहा ये यूथ मेंटोर व्हाट्स दिस. इट्स द फर्स्ट टाइम आई एम एक्चुअली सीइंग अ पर्सन हु is doing something for youth specifically. So this is one idea as well. Acha Aksar, coming towards you, since I mean you've got some exposure in the corporate level as well. You've been I think you've been into different industries. फिर आपका एक tier 1 university का exposure है. What message would you give to tier 2 university के जो graduates होते हैं, because अक्सर they have something in their mind that stops them from applying to those corporate companies because they think they would not be a good fit. So how to break that stereotype?
I think just apply and battle that imposter syndrome, because everybody's facing it even if they've graduated from RAMS. So they're going to go into industry and they're going to panic and they're going to think that they don't know anything. But I think eventually you don't know something, and if you don't, you can always learn. I mean, university is not something that is the last step of your learning. You're going to learn the whole life, and the world is your oyster, and just go and I mean, don't
just grab that opportunity. Don't limit yourself and break those stereotypes, because अक्सर I went to a tier 2 university and I was with the students out there. अब वो ये कह रहे हैं कि जी वो जो है ना अपने लोगों को हायर करते हैं, इनका एक बड़ा सिस्टम बना हुआ है, they've got a monopoly. मैंने कहा यार I used to work for KEMU ना, it's a sister company of Daraz. तो हमारा जो बैच था उसके अंदर I was only Ravian और वो बाकी सारे बच्चे लाम्स LSE के majority of them थी. तो मैंने कहा यार मेरे साथ तो ऐसा कभी कुछ नहीं होता, मतलब I don't know why you guys think like that. Point being is that in order to have good communication skills, you are the one who has to make sure कि आप social media कैसे use कर रहे हैं. There are pros and cons of everything. So try to go ahead, listen to those trainers, TEDx talks हैं, बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं. And I think वो आपको सिर्फ लम्स नहीं, आपको हार्वर्ड तक भी लेके जा सकती है. There are students from MIT और ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटीज जो कि ऐसे ऐसी जगहों से हैं that we guys can say कि यार it's really good कि you worked so hard for this thing और आप वहां तक पहुंचे हैं. So don't limit yourselves. I would agree with that. Anything else you
And
want to
also,
add
I
on?
think another thing, I think, and when you get there, then I think it's very important to highlight that it's your responsibility to help those people जो आपको लगता है कि वो similar challenges से गुजर रहे हैं, even if like if you're from second year university and you've made to somewhere, so then it's your responsibility to help those students coming
Definitely.
from those universities, because I mean it's true, we do have a lot of gatekeeping in Pakistan, access थोड़ा limited है.
थोड़ा सा है.
So it's not ये सारा stereotype है, ये सब myth है, but again, if you've made it somewhere, then it's your responsibility to break those gates, to break those barriers.
You can do that. I mean, for example, a person like me, I've been to tier 1 institutes, tier 2 institutes. पर खैर मैं तो एक social cause के लिए काम कर ही रहा हूँ. But to all those graduates who are making to the corporate level, no, it's their responsibility to help. In universities का भी बड़ी अच्छी आपने बात की कि जी LUMS 6 months बाद they actually give you a call just to be there for you, right? So we guys should start doing it even at school level. You know, after your O levels या metric आपको calls आनी चाहिए कि जी are you guys doing good, and there should be a center for career counseling and leadership जहां पे आप इस तरह की चीजें करें और इस तरह की एक्टिविटीज भी प्रमोट करें, because people are already paying a lot of money out of their pockets, and you know you should come up with I understand that schools की भी अपनी limitations है. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि वो पैसे भर रहे हैं तो आप यूटिलाइज नहीं करें. they're also trying their best, फील्ड ट्रिप्स लेके जाते हैं, बहुत कुछ करते हैं, बट यहाँ पे जो फोकस ऑफ आवर डिस्कशन इज इनोवेटिव माइंडसेट, और उसमें वन थिंग दैट वी आर लैकिंग इज सेंटर फॉर करियर काउंसलिंग एंड लीडरशिप, जिस तरह नूर ने भी ये बात की. ओके,
यहाँ पे
कमिंग
एक चीज ऐड
जी
करना
रुबाब आप
चाहूंगी
ही की
कि
तरफ
ना
आ रहा था, गो अहेड.
मैं ये चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगी कि whenever somebody goes in a particular field, तो एक stereotype thought है कि अच्छा ये चीज it's not my cup of tea. Like for instance, let's take MBBS for example. जैसे said कि I think that was not her cup of tea या calculus was not her cup of tea. वैसे ही मतलब हर बंदा on the first day it stands on the same level as you. तो ये एक चीज आपको चेंज करने की जरूरत है कि यार अगर वो इस तरह का सोच रहा है, उसको भी कुछ नहीं पता, लेकिन he is going into that field, he is challenging himself, he is trying to get more into the particular hurdles जो आगे फेस करेगा इंसान. वो एक चीज को जो कॉन्फिडेंस लैकिंग है ना, आई थिंक मे बी कहीं ना कहीं वो भी एक हर्डल है हमारे इस सारे सेटअप के अंदर.
कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग थोड़ी ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. अच्छा, एक बड़ी अच्छी मैं उस दिन पोस्ट पढ़ा था ऑन लिंक्डइन, एंड दैट वाज it wasn't a good post actually. I mean, it was something that was shocking for me. A child wrote a letter to her teacher जिसमें उसने लिखा था कि जी at that point of time when I was in school आप मुझे ये कहती थी, today you know आज मैं इधर पहुंच गई हूँ, ये हो गया वो हो गया. तो it was a kind of grudge that she was taking out on that teacher. तो point being is कि हमारे टीचर्स ने भी ना क्लास में शुरू से बचपन से एक एटमोस्फेयर क्रिएट किया होता है कि जी ये टॉपर्स हैं, ये हैं, और उसकी बेसिस पे पूरी क्लास जो है ना वो करती है कि जी दे आर द बेस्ट पीपल. आई एग्री, अ पर्सन हु इज वर्किंग हार्ड एंड हु इज इंटेलिजेंट, उसको आप अपलॉज दें, आप उसको करें, अप्रिशिएट करें, बट कहीं ये ना हो कि यू नो द चाइल्ड हु इज एक्चुअली सिटिंग एट द बैक वो ये कहीं फील करने लग जाए इंटरनली कि यार मेरी तो कोई वैल्यू ही नहीं है. Everyone has his or her own value, so try to respect that. Try to come up with a system where everyone is equal. हाँ, उसकी बेसिस फिर आप कह सकते हैं कि यार let's give a huge round of applause to you know the person who took A grade. That's it. अब ये कह देना कि यही बंदा है, यही आगे लेके चलेगा, यही प्रीफेक्ट बनेगा, वो जो भी मॉनिटर आपका क्लास का, यार अब आई यूज्ड टू बी रियली गुड इन को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज, तो मेरा मार्केटिंग में A+ आ गया, तो एवरीवन वाज शॉक्ड, कहते हैं यार कैसे ले आए आप A+, आप तो पढ़ते ही नहीं है. मैंने कहा यार व्हाई डू यू गाइस थिंक लाइक दैट? हमारा अपना एक माइंडसेट है, अगर मैं नहीं पढ़ता तो आपको दिखा के तो नहीं पढ़ना ना, मतलब कॉन्सेप्चुअल लर्निंग की तरफ आए आप. वो जो हमने सिस्टम एक चलाया हुआ उसको थोड़ा खत्म करें. उससे होता ये वी डोंट गेट टू लर्न, रादर वी गेट टू स्कोर, एंड प्रोडक्टिविटी तो फिर कुछ भी ना हुई ना उसमें. मतलब हमने डॉक्टर बनना है तो उसके लिए हमने मेरिट अच्छा लेके आना है. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ यू नो इश्यूज आउट देयर, बट guys, in the end, thank you so much for joining today's session. Rubab, Noor, Aqsa, thank you so much, all of you guys. And one thing, yeah, and that I would like to tell the youth out there is like you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel, Youth Alumni Association. अगर मेरा चैनल नहीं अच्छा लगता किसी और का कर लें, लेकिन करें जरूर क्योंकि आपकी बेहतरी के लिए है. TEDx Talks को जाके सब्सक्राइब करें. You know, there are a lot of other platforms जिस तरह ये इन्होंने बताया, This Is Us. Is it still actually there? मतलब This Is Us, are you guys?
So yeah, I think they do have an edition every year. You can just search Julian project.
All right. All
and
right.
reach out to Tia Aftab.
Oh, perfect. So, guys, this is it from us. And thank you so much, everyone, again for joining in. And I hope that if you guys continue the same passion, not just within these podcast sessions, while we are sitting next to each other and, try to help out, that would bring changes. And if you guys can take 30 minutes out, on our weekend, I think we can do a lot more than that. So take care of yourselves and Allah Hafiz.
Allah
Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.
It was
Allah
lovely
Hafiz.
talking to you.
Thank
Allah
you.
Hafiz.